Well, I want to start off today a little bit with uh, what drives me as a business owner, and I think it stems from my childhood. My father, I think he's a good storyteller as well, and he would talk about his good friend, his mentor, was a man who was a business owner, and he was a fly fisherman. And he talked about this man. He's actually named after him. His middle name, my dad is William Boyd Spelts, and I'm Ryan Benjamin Spelts, named after my dad's dad, Benjamin Franklin Spelts. I guess they used to do that back in the day, name them after presidents or famous people. And so he would talk about Boyd, though, and he said they drive around in their old Chevy pickup, and he was from Idaho. He's from Idaho Falls, and they'd see little spots of water off the side of the highway. And Boyd would pull off the highway, and he'd go over, and he had on the back of his truck, he had a gun rack, but in that gun rack was a fly fishing rod. And he'd pull that rod off. He'd walk up to the little pond or little lake, and he'd look around, throw in a fly, cast it out there, and catch a fish or two. He was just a master fisherman, and he was also a master businessman. He had skills to be able to run businesses. As a youth, I grew up fascinated with fly fishing and businesses, especially local small businesses. And, you know, I think that is what drives me every day. I think it's what motivated me to have my own business. I was frankly afraid to do so when I first started in the business world. I always worked for other people. I always worked in kind of quasi self-employed positions. I was a sales guy, a 1099 sales guy that earned my living every day, like Stephen was talking about, going out, hitting it over the head, dragging it back to the cave so we could eat that night. And that's what I did for many years, and sold lots of things. Well, when I started my own business about a decade ago, I knew that I wanted to work with small businesses. I wanted to help local companies to be able to shine. And I think sometimes when you hear about the Elon Musk and the Steve Jobs and the Tim Cooks and these guys that run these mega corporations, you forget that right down the road is a plumber who's got one guy working for him, and he's providing for his family as a plumber, and he's also helping provide for this other person's family as well. And those small businesses are incredibly valuable, especially to a local market. So I've dedicated myself to learning how to help those companies get found. And I do a lot of education in that world because I've worked on it myself. And sometimes when you you can get overwhelmed by some of those things, so I try to break it down to the most basic aspects of that world. This is a whole nother talk. I threw it in this morning because I want you to understand a lot of times when people start on the world of marketing, they get really overwhelmed. It seems really expensive. And when you hire guys like us, it is expensive. And I can promise you this, we'll spend all the money you're willing to give to us, okay? We'll take it all, we'll spend it all. Like it's a fun thing to do when somebody comes to you with a big budget. But when you're new and you're small, you've got to make sure you're focused on the right things first. So I developed this marketing pyramid, and at the top, which if you think about a pyramid, you start from the bottom, right? So at the top is the last thing that you should be doing. So paying for ads is absolutely last. And sometimes if somebody comes to me with a big budget and I'm like, have you done leads before? Do you know how to handle the phone calls? Do you know how to handle the follow-up? Are you prepared to actually do what leads take to do for a business person? And a lot of times they're not. They're just a business person who's starting to find success and they want to have more of it. And so they think, well, I should run ads. So this is crucial. If you want, you can scan that and look at this later because we're not going to spend a lot of time here. But I just want you to know there's things you do before you do ads, before you start paying money to get things to show up. And so we're going to kind of dive into this a little bit. But our focus today is these 5 ways to get found online. Okay. And so they're simple. They're things that you can do on your own. When you're new in business, often you have time and no money. And so you can do them on your own. If you get to where you're busy and you have a little bit of extra money, that's when you bring in someone like our company to come and help you do it, right? And help it go faster or quicker and be more professional. The first thing is your Google business profile. Number one, If it's not done right today, I want you to go home and make sure this is done properly. In fact, yesterday, or maybe the day before, Google even made an announcement bringing more importance to these profiles than ever before. And it has to do with their new AI searching system that is going to lead, instead of to websites, to Google Business Profiles first. Now, you can still link to a website from a profile, but that tells you, and you have seen this already. How many of you have done a search and at the top you see Google Guaranteed? Those are paid ads. Then you see a sponsored ad, then you see the maps listing for a local service. That's going to become even more important. The maps listing is going to be crucial. So I want to warn you really quickly. I'm going to go back to those slides, but scan this. There's 100% free. You don't get on my list or anything like that. It's just on my website available. If you're going to mess with your Google Business Profile, please be prepared. This is called the Google Suspension Readiness Kit. We put together a list of everything you're going to need to be able to instantly get well, not instantly, Google's going to review it, but to get re-accepted, to get your profile back live again. So before you mess with it, go here and get all that stuff put together. If you're not able to scan that, it's just at ryanspelts.marketing, and there's a link that says Google Readiness Kit, and it's just listed on the website. You can just copy and paste and start using it. I don't want you to get suspended and have a hard time getting your profile back up again. Some of these changes can trigger a suspense. That's why I talk about that, because if you change the title, your primary service, your primary phone number, your primary address, you're more than likely going to get at least a soft suspension, which means you're going to have to provide Google proof that it really is you. Because heaven forbid, one of your competitors go try to do that to your profile. They don't want that to happen. Okay, and people can be very convincing. Russ and I were talking about this earlier. People faking, spoofing his company and advertising, and then he's getting bad reviews from people he's never heard of. Okay, so you want to be careful with these things. You want Google to be careful with these things. So it's okay that they require these deals. But if your name is, Austin's really cool place to do business, but you're a plumber, and your profile says Austin's really cool place to do business, Google even's going to struggle to know that that's what you are as a plumber. So you could have a unique name that says Austin's really cool place to do business, plumber, Ogden, Utah, and that's supposed to be within Google's framework. That's supposed to be their, you have to have an actual business name be in that profile. So my recommendation is go set up a DBA with that name. If your name is unique and it doesn't, my name is Ryan Spelts Marketing, right? That's my business. So not only does it have my name in it, but it also has marketing in it. Well, that's a good thing. So if you don't particularly have that clear of a name, which is okay, make sure you get a DBA for it so you can set up your profile and just say what you do. Make it super clear and simple for the profile. Your services should be in there, all of the services you do, everything listed out, and explanations for those services, short explanations that are keyword optimized, the things that people search for. Ensure your new photos are added regularly and get new reviews. You've heard all of this before. I'm reiterating it. If you're not focused here, you're missing out. Make sure you focus there. This is my shameless plug. We have a little robot that we employed about 2 months ago. It's a software, it's AI driven. It pays attention to search traffic. It goes into our clients. We have about 15 clients on this now. It goes into our clients' profile, and it does all those things on a consistent basis. We manage it from the back end. We double check it for quality and for nonsensical stuff, because AI hallucinates sometimes. And so we make sure that it's doing all those things. It's on autopilot for business owners, and it's awesome. And the reason I'm so excited about it is this is my best result so far. If you can't see this, this is a it's called Power Couple. They're a local company. They do power washing, they do window washing, and they do epoxy floors in garages, okay? Cool couple, great little business. They take a month, twice a year, 1 month off from their business and from here, and they travel somewhere. And they just got back. I think they were in Italy. They went to Europe, and when they got back, we turned this on. Okay, it's been running for a little over a month and a half, and they went from, so driveway pressure washing, they went from ranking 20 to ranking 1, 2, and 3, a 20,000% improvement. Residential window washing 20 to now, you can see 11, 8, 4, more competitive, a little harder to rank. This one is commercial power washing. They went from ranking, at the highest 2 and 3 in one location, but 20 everywhere else, to now 1 to 4 almost all across their map. And then garage floor coating surfaces, the most competitive piece that they work in. This is a highly competitive industry and highest margin, frankly, for them. So the best option, they went from 13, 14, 15 to 9 to 11. All they did was the stuff I just told you. All our system does is the stuff I just told you to do. You can do this on your own. It is not impossible, right? You can even use ChatGPT to help you do this. I cannot emphasize how important this is. If there's only one thing you take from today, this is it. Get your profile optimized, okay? At the end, I'll give you a free scan where you can scan and see where you're at within our system, and it'll tell you where you rank. Okay, number 2. I'm going to, Steven says SEO is going to go away. I'm going to contrast that a little bit. It's going to change because guess what AI is using? In fact, while we were sitting here and he was talking, I was like, that's an interesting take that we're going towards a post-SEO world. And so I asked ChatGPT, I was like, who are the best web companies in the Ogden area? Who are the best web design companies? Who am I competing with? And it listed them off. And I said, okay, how did you come up with that list and how do I rank for it? How do I get on that list? And it said, well, you're going to have to build brand authority, SEO 101. You're going to have structured content, SEO 101. You're going to have citations across the web so that it shows your authority, again, SEO 101. You're going to have to do SEO for your website because your ranking in Google rankings is going to translate into your AI recommendations. You're going to have AI visibility, which is structuring your content properly so AI will read it. And you're going to have to make sure that you're on the largest citation platforms for your industry. And so it listed for me, the industry where people, or the citation sites. So citation sites are like Yelp. Yelp's the biggest one to kind of give you an idea. Yelp is extremely powerful because they've done SEO really well. They show up really high in rankings, so people are going to go and see Yelp for lists of top 10 plumbers in Ogden, Utah. And if you're not on Yelp and don't maximize your profile, you're going to miss out. Well, there are industry specific ones, right? There's stuff for my industry, there's stuff for your industry. Go find out what they are and make sure you at least show up there and have a presence. That's called local SEO. Keywords are crucial here. What are people looking for? Think about the different ways they search for them. They think about them. That's local SEO. And then make sure you're consistent across all your directories. Your NAP, the name, address, phone number, website is exactly the same. Okay, make no variations on different sites. Okay, local content marketing. This is a really unique way. If you're a local focused, area specific company, you'll see companies do this really well and you don't realize that they're marketing, okay? The ones that I see a lot are real estate agents. They like to throw pool parties and they invite the whole community, or they'll rent out the theater and play a video. Or a law firm will do a trunk or treat around Halloween. What they're doing is they're raising awareness of their company, and if they can partner up with others, then they can bring other companies in to help promote that. In fact, this is actually what Tyler just did by creating this event, inviting me and these others to come, is we combine communities, right? And so we say, okay, come be part of this. It's cross-marketing. On a local basis, go find a school that's running a fair and say, hey, can I sponsor your fair? And do you have this on your website? Yes. Will you link to my website, giving me local authority and local citations or local backlinks that bring people to my business as well? Sure, we can do that, right? Find ways to get listed locally, do content about it. If you've got a good social media presence, be willing to go out to those places, to those events, and then video yourself, put it up on your social media, talk about other local places. The better you get at listing everything, the better the robots of the world are going to get at reading and saying, this is a good local person, local business. This is somebody that people look to. Drives awareness for you. Okay, number 4. Online directories. Back to the directories, reiterating, I kind of mixed that in already, but these are the biggest ones. So Google, LinkedIn, Facebook, Apple Business Connect, if you have an address. If you don't have an address, you can't be on Business Connect. Nextdoor, Yelp, Bing, and Trustpilot. Okay, I would go make sure you're on those. If you hire a company like us to do citations for you, we'll get you on 75 to 100 of these, across the web. But these are the big ones. You can go start with those. You can take a picture of that and then go home and do this. Okay, it'll make sure your listing is there. These are companies that are going to call you to sell you stuff. You do not have to buy from them, but that's how they stay in business, right? So, but put your listings in place. Make sure they're the same across all of the different listing categories, and make sure your address is the same. Make sure your phone number is the same. Make sure your website's the same. It makes SEO robots read you as the same company versus saying, I don't know, maybe that's a different location, or maybe that's somebody who has a similar name. I don't know. They're going to ask the same questions that people are going to ask. Okay, number 5, utilize social media, but remember the social part. Russ and I had a conversation this morning. We were talking about these companies spoofing his company name and running a bait and switch program, getting bad reviews, and people are thinking it's him, and he connects with them and says, hey, this wasn't me. I don't know you. He's been able to combat it so far. And my advice to him was video yourself, become a real person to people, especially in an AI world. Yes, there are tools where you can avatar yourself, but the truth is we're looking for real connection. The more advanced these things become, the more we're going to look for things where we can say, okay, that's a real person and I feel like they care. If people feel like you care about them, they're going to connect with you on a higher level. They're going to want more from you. So on your social media profile, don't put ads on your profile. Just don't do it. It's social media. The difference is, in the old days, we ran commercials on media, right? You had TV, you had radio, you had newspapers, you had magazines, you ran ads in magazines. Social media is about social connections. It's about realness. It's about connection with people, with ideas, with interest, and those kinds of things. The better you get at connecting with people on social media, the more they're going to understand, okay, you're someone I want to work with. So I hold back nothing. If you follow any of my social media, you're going to find I spill all the beans on everything we do to help market people. Why? Because I know at one point they're going to say, I can't do all this. You do it for me. I'm not worried about it. I also can see so many times where other marketing companies stole my stuff. And guess what? I don't care that they do that, because I want them to be better marketers too. I really do love small businesses. I want them to succeed, whether they're working with me or another marketing company. I want you to be open with people. They're not going to take your ideas. They aren't paying as close of attention as you think. But even if they are, it will benefit them. Be social, create connection, promote others, show your work, show what you do. If you are in a business where you can show what you do, you're 10 steps ahead on a local market. And then you can pay more. Okay, one more bonus. Number 6, collaborations. This is a great example of a collaboration, what Tyler put together here. People who are, helping each other, who are in, supporting industries, or even just adjacent industries where it's like, we don't really, but we serve the same customer. That's a great idea and a great plan. If you can do something like that, it will help lift others, but it'll also link you to them. If you can link to each other on your websites, it'll create a backlink. It'll create more authority. Collaborations can be great. You can work with influencers. But influencers are famous for being told, I got a ton of traffic from you, but no business. Well, that's a disconnect between who the influencer is and who their people are and who your people are, right? That's a disconnect if you're not working with the right types of quote unquote influencers. So get part of community organizations, chambers, things like that. If you're interested in scanning where you are on Google Maps, that is the free scan tool. It'll take you to log in with Google. So make sure you're logging in with the account that is tied to your business profile, and it'll tell you, okay, here's your ranking for the, you can, I think, pick 3 keywords or whatever to do in this little free scan, and it'll send you the report. It takes at about 15 minutes to an hour to run the report and kind of check depending on how competitive your industry is. Um, I appreciate you giving me the chance to be here, Tyler, and having the opportunity to talk about this stuff. It's the basics. I realize that, but sometimes that's where you got to start. And he only gave me 20 minutes. I can talk for like 3 hours. So, but anyway, thanks for having me, and on to the next.